name is Sophie. I'm just standing up here by the hut, and I'm joined by my colleague Kevin and Buster, who is one of our African pygmy goats. You may have met Buster already today if you've been to our Wanyama village, because he lives in Wanyama with his two brothers, Buster and Boomer, and they can often be seen playing around and headbutting each other and getting into all sorts of mischief. Now, don't expect too much from Buster today. This is his first time out on the Antics lawn with an audience. Now, what we're hoping for is that he will be a permanent part of our shows by Easter. Now, he does know a few behaviours. He knows how to wave and he knows how to spin, but today and yesterday he was refusing to do that out here. So what we're trying to do is just a little bit of lawn descent. He's very, very confident in his paddock, but the second we bring him outside of his paddock, he becomes a little bit shy, which is very unlike him. So you are our guinea pigs today. I hope you don't mind me calling you that, because we just need to know how he's going to react in front of people. There we go. This is already better than yesterday, where he just refused to do anything at all. So baby steps, that is all we want. Now, pygmy goats are a favourite at any zoo, I think. I think it's quite confident to say that they win over a lot of people's hearts. And I think this is because they are just full of loads of energy. Now, although he may not look it today because he's being a little bit shy and reserved, if anything, Buster actually has too much personality, and it does get him in trouble quite a lot with his brothers and with his keepers. His cheeky attitude actually got him and his brothers banned from Children's Zoo, which is just behind me over here, because the three of them liked to try and play with children. Now, how goats play is by headbutting. So as you can imagine, that didn't go very well, didn't go down very well at all. This is one common misconception that we hear quite often about goats, is people will see a goat headbutting something and just automatically kind of assume that that goat has got the hump or it's a little bit angry. But goats headbutt for loads of reasons, and one of the most common reasons why they headbutt is for play. So using their horns is how they feel around the world, feel around their environment, a little bit like newborn babies wanting to put everything in their mouth. Goats explore the world by rubbing their horns on things and just exploring and experimenting that way as well. Now, Buster here is a pygmy goat, but in particular he is an African pygmy goat. These guys originated from Cameroon in West Africa, and they are not farmed for their meat, you'd be pleased to know. They are farmed for their milk. Female African pygmy goats, they can produce a huge amount of milk compared to their body size. One female can produce about 4 pounds of milk a day if she's got young. So that is an awful lot of mouths fed, not just her own kids, but people as well, which is why they were farmed so much over there. They are believed to be one of the oldest domesticated farm animals, with the first records of them being domesticated dating back 11,000 years ago. So there is a theory that they were domesticated sooner than dogs in some part of the world, which is quite fun. Now, they are very, very social animals, and they do like to live in really big herds, which is why we keep Buster with his two brothers. Like other goats, they are great climbers, and they love to jump around on rocks and logs, like you can see him doing today. African pygmy goats come in a variety of different colours, but the main common ones are black, white, grey and brown, though you do get some kind of rare and morphs, but they're usually done through artificially inseminating and breeding fancy colours like reds. Now, they are very smart and curious too, as you can see. They are herbivores, which means that they only eat vegetation, and they would mainly eat a diet of leaves, plants, grasses, sometimes fruits and veg as well. And he's being trained today using his favourite snack, which is carrots, although it looks like he doesn't even want to do anything else for carrots right now, but we'll see how much more we can push him before we pop him away. Now, although they eat quite a large variety of vegetation, they are actually really fussy eaters. It might just be ours though, I don't know if they're like this in the wild, but our three boys will not eat anything that's been on the floor for too long or anything that's been walked over. So if their hay's been out on the floor for too long, they will just ignore it. They don't want to leave it. They don't want to eat it. They will just leave it there. All goats have really sensitive mouths and lips because they kind of mouth everything. So they obviously don't want to eat anything that is too rough, so their mouths are actually quite sensitive. Now, fun fact, goats can't see colours like we can. They can see some colours, but it's not a full spectrum like us. They can see purples and blues and greens the most. They can see a little bit of oranges and yellows as well. Now, when he comes up close to you, I do want you to have a look at his eyes, because goats have very different eyes compared to ours. If you have a really close look, you'll notice that he's got rectangle pupils. Most hoofed animals have rectangular pupils. This is because they are grazing animals, which means they spend about 90% of their day with their head low to the ground, grazing from vegetation. The rectangular pupils give them a larger peripheral vision, so they can look for danger at the same time as eating, which is really cool and really important when you are a prey animal, especially when living in your natural wild, which would be Africa. Now, one thing you may notice about him is that he is chewing food all the time. This is because goats are a ruminant animal, which means an animal that has 4 stomach chambers. This means that they can digest really high fibre and roughage. It's a little bit gross, but what they do is they chew their food, they swallow it, and then they regurgitate it back into their mouths and they chew it some more. This is called chewing the cud. It may sound really unappealing, but it provides these animals with a way of getting the absolute most nutrition from their food, and it also prevents them from feeling hungry. By chewing the cud, it kind of tricks their tummy into thinking that they are eating more food than they actually are. And because of this, quite funnily, they are known to burp a lot because they chew a lot, so they take in a lot of air. So they are constantly burping and a little bit smelly. Now, because they're very smart and because they are very social animals, they are really good at picking up even human emotions. If you want to get on a goat's good side, start with a smile. Studies have shown that goats are able to tell the difference between happy human faces and unhappy human faces, and they have been obviously found to prefer happy faces. So there we go, cute little fact to end up on. I don't know if you've been able to tell, Buster, I think, has just checked out of this whole thing. But I would love for you to give him a nice little round of applause. Don't let it get to his head too much, because this still was a little bit pants. But for those of you that were here from the start, those of you that weren't here from the start, you might not have heard me say that this is only day 2 out here for Buster. So you guys have been the perfect guinea pigs to trial him in front of before our busy open season, which is coming up soon. And if we just continue to do this with him every day, he should be a pro by our goal that we've set ourselves, which is the Easter holidays. So there we go. I really hope you've enjoyed a little bit of goat training. He's done a bit. He is full of character. He's got a really big personality. So hopefully you haven't gone away too disappointed. Now, I really hope you have enjoyed your day and you continue to enjoy your day, and thank you very much for hanging out with us. You going to do one more wave, Buster? Say absolutely not. What do you think I am? Go on. Yes, there we go. Thank you so much, guys. See you soon.